Hello again, my lovely listeners. Welcome back to today's episode of Tea Time with Tayea. I'm your host, Tayea. Oh my gosh, we're already at the last episode of our little journey here. Episode 4, which is the most questionable topic. I regret accepting certain topic episode requests. This one was specially made on courtesy request of my beloved platonic wife. I know you will probably be watching this before sleep, so this is for you. Anyone else listening? I'm happy you're here. Let's just get straight into it, all right? So, get nice and warm with your little coffee, and let's get into the certainly most questionable topic of my launch week episodes. Episode 4, is there a furry at my school? Okay, so I know this is kind of like a rhetorical question. I know there are furries at my school, okay? And I would like to point out, I have nothing against them, okay? Like, there are so many aspects that go into this kind of thing. Like, it's kind of actually crazy. But there is one particular incident, like, thing with the furry, that oh my gosh. Because there are, like, literal charges of bestiality and, like, animal abuse, like, sexual animal abuse at my school. Like, it's terrible. It's terrible. Compared to, like, the things that this certain kid has done at my school, he's, like, assaulted his dog. Like, he should not have a dog. They let him out. He should not be out free. Somebody should have chopped his wiener off or something. I think it's a proper punishment, right? I'm not going to say what the other proper punishment would be, but use your imagination. Anyways, there are a lot of crazy things involving animals from my school. I wish they would not. Leave the animals alone, guys. Animals are they're cutie patootie pies. They're just so great. Why would you do that to them? How could you forsake them in such ways? Like, what? I don't know. I'm not sure. But either way, there are certain guys. Anyways, I can answer like the main question of this episode. There are furries at my school. And well, there's kind of, like I said, a lot that goes into that. I know a couple of them, and like I said, I have nothing against them. What was I going to say? Yeah, anyways, I have nothing against furries. They're literally just silly goopers, and if you want to be perceived as an animal, or, like, have a fursona and stuff, like, that's your business. I'm not gonna judge you because of that, okay? That's just weird, because who am I to care that much about your life? Because, like, I'm not particular, that sounds a little rude of me. What I meant by that is, who am I to judge your lifestyles when most of the time it doesn't really concern me? Not in the way, I didn't mean it in the sense that your life doesn't matter to me, that's why I don't care. That's not what I meant, guys. Don't go there. Anyway, I just, yeah. I also feel like I should have done this at the beginning, but I will also mention that there is also another topic. This is so bad. There is another topic I will be getting into later this episode, so just stick around for that, by the way. I probably won't put it in the title because this is kind of last minute here. Usually, if let me get into this quick little explanation thing. So, as many will be able to tell, this episode will be double the amount of content that I was going to do for for this particular launch week episode. Each episode was supposed to be 15 minutes. So 15, 15, half an hour, 15, 15, half an hour, and half an hour and half an hour, 1 full hour worth of content. I think that's reasonable. But because I had this little delay, I thought I'd add a little something for you guys. So I feel like it's only right to give you courtesy to a little something for making you guys wait. But continuing. Anyways, so, like, of course, I'm not particularly, educated in the ways of, like, the furry mindset, like, all that stuff. I do have a friend. Most people would jump me if they heard me calling him a friend. I have this friend, and, like, he's really into it. And I also have another friend. I have, like, 2 main friends who are furries. One's Jen, and then one's Zachary. They're both very nice. I love them, by the way. So slayness. Shout outs to you guys. Anyways, Jen and Zachary are, like, both very open with, like, their furriness. Like, it's like, if you ask them, they would probably be like, yeah, no, I am. And, like, go with them. Love your pride. It's giving, be who you are for your pride. Or whatever. Anyway, yeah, no, I like I said, I don't really know, like, the logistics, or I don't really know much about, like, what it, like, actually takes to be one. I know there's stuff like personas, and I know that there's, like I said, I'm not really not acknowledged. I'm not well educated in this topic. Perchance I should have done research before yapping about it, but you know what? The best yappers can make something out of nothing for yapping. So that is what I am doing right now. I'm clearly struggling, if you guys couldn't tell. Anyways, like I said, they're very open with it, and, like, like I said, if you were very you're very open with it, and I literally think that's great. I don't know why I started using the second person. That's kind of whatever. I am blowing up. Anyways, the question of this episode is there a furry at my school? Yes, there are numerous furries, 2 main that I know of, and then there's, I'm sure, plenty others that are just, like, hiding in the shadows, or maybe I just don't know them or whatever. But either way, anyways, there is, and I honestly think that's an okay thing. Like, I feel like we as a society need to get past all, like, compass and belief that, like, something that makes you different is a bad thing. Like, that's not a good way of enforcing compassion and, like, empathy upon a society. Like, that's not a good thing. And of course, I'm going to get this into philosophy, because I have an easier time yapping about that than, information on furries. Anyways, if anyone would like to give me any furry... it won't even really matter. I doubt I'll do another episode on furries, unfortunately. Perchance if it is, like, a personally requested one. Perchance. But like I said, I feel like the whole idea behind this episode, from my wife's perspective at least, was for me to yap about this particular friend of mine who is a furry, and like, the personal experience that I had with this person. And I'm not gonna name names. I'm not doing that, because that's just a cruel thing to do. I honestly think it's so insane. I know, like, podcasts are usually dedicated to things like yapping about your personal life and stuff, and yada, 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 everything in between, but I feel like there is a line we must cross where you're just like, okay, that is not an okay thing to say on a podcast, not in person, not online, or, like, ever. Like, it like I said, it reaches a certain point, like a certain line where you have to think, is this really something that I should use my freedom of speech right with. Like, should I don't know if that sentence made sense, but I believe that the idea behind this whole requested topic that my wife gave me was to talk about this particular experience and how it's strange or particularly peculiar. I actually really like that word. Particularly peculiar that there is a furry at my school, but I feel like it's kind of a very common thing. Like it also, it's like a whole thing with the fact that like minorities are everywhere where I'm from, like where I currently abide. They're everywhere. Our our place of being, our state and whatnot, is a minority majority state. So obviously it's going to, like, there's going to be all kinds of people of all different types and all different kinds of beliefs and like style and stuff. Like there's just so much that goes into it, and I'm not going to go into the whole anthropology of it, okay? That's for another episode. But I think the idea behind this is that we should try and stop perceiving certain traits or something that you identify yourself as a bad thing. And I know there's this whole like media thing with like being woke and like trying to end wokeness. No, it's just, I feel like it's just being aware of certain like impacted things in the world and trying to bring attention to it. If you feel like something's important, you're going to want to keep talking about it, to keep bringing attention to it. If you don't like the way something is operating, it's only human nature to want to change it. It's guys. And I don't know why I'm getting, like I said, I don't know why I'm getting into like the whole philosophical meaning behind this whole episode, but I feel like that's kind of what's needed because I can't really yap about furries. There are, let's see, the present term. There are furries at my school. There will probably be future furries at my school. There probably have been some in the past, way before me. What if there was one, like, when the school was founded, when, like, one of our oldest teachers, like, that was a student he taught during his first year. Speaking of which, there's this super ancient, he's, like, what do you even call it? Like, the Pope of our school. Like, he's like been there since like day one. A lot of people like acknowledge this. He's like honestly he's literally taught longer than like most of the kids at that school who he's teaching still have been alive, and I think that's so insane. Shout outs to him. I'm not going to name drop because I don't do that, but he's great. We love you. We love you. We'll call him Mr. Custard. Because he's just a little sweet old man. By the way, I meant man, comma, man. Like, he's a sweet old man, comma, man. Or, like, dude. Maybe I should, like, use not double words. Okay. He's just a silly little goober guy. Man. Okay, the punchline is dropped. It's not cutesy anymore. Whatever. Anyways. Like I said, the whole idea behind this episode was supposed to be, like, the idea that there being furries at my school, or they're, like, the idea behind having one, or, like, anywhere. This doesn't just go for my school, by the way. It's, like, it's everywhere, obviously, because discrimination and prejudice and all kinds of other beliefs, yada, 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 will follow along everywhere a person goes. Like, you'll find it everywhere in the world, as unfortunately the balance must remain. So like I said, the idea is that that we shouldn't have to judge whether or not there is one. It's like asking, is there females going to, is there a female at my school? That's like another way of looking at it, I think, because also when you think about it, women haven't, like, for a long time, it hasn't even been that long that women were allowed to vote and like we weren't given rights until like very recently. Like we were, guys, and there's so much that goes into that topic as well. I just love to yap. I've majored in yapology. I'm a professional yapologist, guys. But yes, that's like the main premise behind that topic, I think. And the end values of it is just like, there is, accept it, live with it, and just like flow and roll with it. Cause like it's not like something like that's changing anytime soon. And it's not like, mostly for the most part, I hope, that they're hurting anybody. I hope not any animals. Not any animals. Not any animals. Anyways, that is like the little 15-16 minutes worth. We're already halfway, guys. Aren't you so excited? So now that we're halfway through the episode, it's time to move on to our next topic. I believe it would be, okay, I'm sorry, I had to get my like episode topics in order for a second there. But basically, this second portion of this yap session will be about the art of letting go. And I feel like this is something very personalized. Like, it can vary basically upon everyone. Like, everyone treats things and like the way they roll with the punches in life differently. And, you know, every person has like a certain point of strength where they're saying, I'm enough. Like, obviously you are enough, but what I meant to say is, I'm done, I've had enough. And like, they know their limitations. There is a certain beauty behind letting something go. And since you know, like, the whole reason this episode was late in the first place was because I needed time to let go, I feel like it's only suitable that I like make mention of this. And plus, I feel like it's just a good way of like letting out all of this. It's a good way of like not venting my emotions, but like trying to understand it myself, because like I said, this is still a very like real ongoing thing. It's not like something like death can just like be glazed over as much as we want it to, because it sometimes you just like look and you're like, wow, what in the heck? And like, it's so unbelievable how like unbelievably short, and like there's so much aspects to life. It's so insane. I'm dying. It's getting me. Anyway, to go further into the art of letting go, I'll kind of go into how I do it myself. So I'll just yap about some certain situations where I found it hard to let go. So like, I'll name like 3 right now. I'll talk about, just to like summarize what these 3 points are going to be about, basically, in case you want to like skip to certain parts or whatever. Yeah, I'm not going to divide this, by the way. Figure it out. My point here is that the 3 points I will be mentioning here is, 1, I think I'll just go with 1, a really bad breakup. Like my most recent breakup. That one was hard to let go of. My most recent development of a death within the family. And I guess we'll just get into my daddy issues. Be quiet, remember the mountains. I'm running out of topics here, like worth mentioning, that is. And then watch him be like talking about it. Like the next time I see him, he'll be like, meow meow meow. You could have yapped about this. Meow 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 meow. You don't have to go on about your daddy issues. Like, be quiet, remember the mountains. Anyway, continuing. Basically, to start off, I said I would start off with the breakup, so I guess I will talk about the breakup. The most recent breakup, I was with a non-binary person, and they were lovely. I think particularly the reason why I had such a hard time letting go was because it felt like someone actually took me seriously. Like, I'm the type of person that, like, kind of flows through life, and I develop, like, what do you call it? Personality, like, parts of my personality, and not ignore all that, I'm sorry, all right? It's a terrible habit. I just talk like that. But pretty much, the idea is that, what am I even yapping about at this point? The idea to me is that someone actually made me feel like I didn't have to fake being someone. And the thing about me is that, like, I have a hard time showing the real me to anyone. In fact, I literally tell myself all the time during my bouts of anger and rage in private, because obviously I'm not going to throw a tantrum in front of everybody else when their expectations are oh so high. There is a certain standard I hold myself to, and I just feel like that is not who I am. Sometimes I question whether or not I know who I am. And this person that I was with, we'll just call them we'll call them cheese fries. That works. So, cheese fries was lovely. I think we went like a steady 6 months, I think. It was a while. I think we only went on like one major date as far as I'm concerned. We went to homecoming together, and it was just a very cutesy, demure kind of thing. But I feel like the attachment, because like we would talk every day, and it was like a friends to lovers kind of thing. It also kind of, I feel like in relationships like that, it also kind of ruins the friendship, because now, because one of the options that they gave me, not really gave me, but like they were like, hey, if you still want to be friends after this, like, we can still be friends, but like, if you don't want to, I understand. And I already knew that I was going to say no to that, because I was like, yeah, no, I can only view you romantically now, and I have to be able to let you go. I have to let you go like that. I can't just treat you like a friend now after what I've seen of you. So no. Of course, not to say I'm on bad terms with them, obviously. Like, we both left on our own terms. It was one of those, well, it was fun while it lasted, right? And like, you're just like, yeah, it was. This person made me feel like I didn't have to try and pretend. And I feel like it was my own, like, human error that, like, led to me feeling like I couldn't let them go. I actually remember the day that they broke up with me. It was so bad. There's so much comedy behind it now that I think back on it, because, like, I'm kind of over it now, and, like, my heart doesn't, like, ache whenever I see couples, or whenever I hear a whisper of a similar name, or someone who looks like them, or something of the sort. Something that could potentially remind me of them doesn't make my heart ache anymore. And I feel like that's the first step of, like, the process of letting go, which is obviously what we're yapping about. So in my own way, I feel like when you try and let someone go, it can vary based on, like, what that meant to you, and, like, what the person was. This person made me feel like I was on top of the world. They would like give me great compliments. One thing though, I will mention something though. If you're always complimenting a certain aspect of someone, at least let it be personality, because this is one thing that always made me feel kind of insecure when I was with this person, is that they would only compliment my looks. And I felt like all I was to them was a pretty face, and that kind of hurt my feelings. I never told them that, but it's nice to get it out in the open for random strangers to pick at, you know? It's great. But in that whole process, I was like, hey, they're gone. They don't love you like that anymore. You need to let them go. And I'm obviously just like, okay, well, because, you win some, you lose some. And in this case, I guess technically we both lost one because, relationships, you lose that. But I think for that particular situation, I think I let go because I knew that I needed to grow. Like, I didn't know who I was. I feel like it was also, like I said, human error on my part that I was, like, kind of dependent. I'm awfully clingy and stuff, so that can drive people away, yada, yada, yada. But we're not going to get into that. Moving on to another situation. And I'm not going to talk about the recent loss second. I'll talk about daddy issues now. So another thing in the art of letting go, my dad is like, ooh, he's a goober, but he's like a bad goober at the same time. Like, he has come in and left my life more times than I can count. And like, there's just a part of me that is just like, it's actually really funny because I'm writing a paper on this like right now. Hashtag trauma dumping to the max. Trauma makes good writers. That's an unpopular opinion that I love. Except it's probably not unpopular. I don't know personally, but basically, when it came to my dad, I was always expected to like forgive him for like everything he did. Like when he put his hands on my mother, I was expected to forgive him. When he started selling stuff, I was expected to forgive him. When he yelled and got angry for like small reasons, I was expected to forgive him. And it was this cycle of give and take and give and take. And I always felt like I was giving more and he was always taking more. I was giving, he was taking, and he wasn't giving, and I wasn't getting anything from it. Basically, I was trying to be there, and he didn't, like, it was this whole situation of, like, unfulfilled promises, and, like, empty promises, and just that empty feeling you get when someone who is, like, supposed to be there for you is not, and this just creates this void where you're just like, whoa, what did I do wrong? And in letting that go, because like, I won't openly admit it, but I have to a certain degree let go of like how my father perceives me, because in the end, he has broken my trust more times than I can count. And how am I expected to keep forgiving that when he won't put in the effort? And I can tell a lot of my family is getting sick of it too, because like I'm not gonna like go into the whole detail of that, because if my family finds this and they hear me yapping about our personal issues, they will get me. But I think I let go of him because once again I felt like it wasn't healthy. I feel like that's an also very important part in the art of letting go. Like, you yourself have to identify that it's something you need to let go of. And that brings us to the last part of today's episode, the most recent loss, which involves death. I won't name who passed because it's not good to speak of the dead and for religious reasons, yada yada yada. But basically, I never really I knew this person, and the last time I saw them was like maybe a month ago, and I was always on good terms with this person, and I loved being around them. It was a great feeling. It was like I was particularly close to him, and he was like a fatherly figure because dad where anyway, the whole idea behind it for me was that he was such a great person, and I feel like his memory will live on within me, and I need to let go of feeling like I could have done more, because I can't do more now. He's gone, and I can't, like, nothing in my human ability can bring him back. So all I can do in my mind is honor what is left of him, which is literally just his memory, the idea, the concept of him, if you will. Anyway, the main premise I'm getting at here is that in letting go, you have to find it in yourself that you need to let go, whether it's not healthy, or you you're the one putting in all the effort. You feel like it's your fault, or they're not doing enough, or just the sake of wanting to feel free. Like, you should be able to do that. And I think there's something just so incredibly beautiful about that, by the way. But now that I've gone over my 30-minute mark, I think that's where I'll end my little yapping session for now. I hope you guys enjoyed, and that brings us to the end of today's episode. I hope my rambling made sense, and I hope, beloved wife, that you have gotten some rest and that you are sleeping now. And for everyone else listening, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys next. Ooh, wait. This is a good time to mention the schedule, the posting schedule. I will now be posting every Friday from now on. There's an episode every Friday. Usually at 10, but I'll keep you guys updated. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. I love you guys so much, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.